Hello everybody and welcome back to Pathfinder Plays, and today we are talking about the Dead Matter map. We all know that the information on the map change got leaked in their Discord and the word got out through social media and everybody was freaking out due to what the changes could possibly mean for them and their gameplay experience. However, the developers in their new roadmap update have decided to talk about it. First off, the locations mentioned. There are two maps or locations mentioned, South Alberta and Calgary. Prior to this, there were talks of about 3 or 4 maps, some small and some big. So this is drastically different, and I think many people will be happy with this change. South Alberta is going to be a 16 kilometer by 16 kilometer, which is the same size that it was supposed to be originally if you take out Calgary. So pretty much in terms of South Alberta, nothing has changed size-wise if you look at it that way. Calgary is going to be approximately 6 kilometers by 6 kilometers, so drastically smaller in scale in comparison to South Alberta, but you need to remember that it's a city and is going to be super dense and difficult to trek through. Odds are, you could potentially be spending more time trying to get through this map than the South Alberta map, depending on how lucky you are and the other variables, such as zombies in your way, the routes available, and the players you encounter. There are many variables that will make this a good yet challenging experience. All that being said, this is the reason why they are making Calgary a separate map than South Alberta. They say that, quote, "Calgary is a massive city and a massive undertaking. We want to have a dense, urban environment. We want to represent the size and scale of the city and do it justice. In order to properly pull off the original vision we had for Calgary, we're going to separate it from the main map," end quote. This absolutely makes sense to me because of the impact this city would have on the South Alberta map. Calgary is going to be so dense and so demanding on resources that it would make optimization on a singular map very difficult, so I get it. So what exactly is going to make Calgary so amazing and special comparing it to South Alberta? Well, they share a bit with us in the roadmap. No doubt both maps are going to be amazing, but they did go into more detail about Calgary than South Alberta. Hopefully we learn more about South Alberta in the future, but right now all we got is Calgary. They talk about a few things: a new set of factions that will be present, a new and unique metagame events. That will be cool, and new and unique locations to explore. The factions, as you all know by now if you follow my videos, are something that excites me greatly. The potential to have random, immersive, and profitable encounters with different factions is an amazing thought. Will they be cannibals, raiders, ex-military and security contractor types? Maybe they are a faction of pacifists who like to render aid to whoever they come across regardless of faction or lineage. Or maybe they are made up of former law enforcement officers and first responders and are trying to spread justice and regain law and order. There are some facts known about the factions. I'll link the video here, but odds are many things have changed since that video has been made. But I would still recommend seeing it just to get a general idea of what they're going for. The metagame events are also something that will make this amazing. Car crashes, helicopter crashes, maybe bandit caravans going through the city. Who knows? There are so many potential events they could implement if they simply have the resources, time, and imagination. The locations mentioned will probably be very valuable. I'm talking about police stations, malls, residential areas, banks, gun stores, and maybe even car dealerships. These locations not only give us a great chance to get loot, but also discover more and more lore and story. With each new location comes the opportunity to learn more about what happened to Canada and maybe the rest of the world. All this sounds great, but it begs the question, how do we get from one map to the next? What about spawn camping? What about instances? What about spawning in general? Will they talk about that as well? They say that a player can walk to the eastern edge of South Alberta to travel to the city. I'm going to say that again. The entire eastern edge. The eastern edge of South Alberta, as we have covered above, is 16 kilometers long, and you can go to Calgary at any point on that whole border. How do you camp that? You cannot predict where a person is going to choose to spawn at or where they are going to come from or spawn to. You just simply can't do that. There's no way to know. It's too massive of a transfer area. When you transfer to a different map or spawning in for the first time, the game will give you a set of locations to load in at. However, you can discover new locations which will be added to a list of future spawn locations. It is important to stock up before you transfer, however, because whenever you go to a new area, your hydration and satiation will go down depending on the distance traveled. Bring food and water, plan accordingly. There are also other areas in South Alberta that are not on the border that can take you to Calgary, but those are going to be known to players and may very well be places to go for PvP and loot. So it's a pretty good risk-reward ratio going on there. All in all, this sounds very promising, and I love the idea of a 2-map setup. It seems smooth and polished as a theory. Now it just needs to be executed. I do have questions on how groups will go across. Is there a group leader who can select the travel locations and everyone goes there? Does every person need to select the same location? Does each location spawn you in a different area of the grid that it's located in? I am sure these will be answered in the future, but if anybody knows or has a theory, leave the answer in the comments below. As always, check out my main man, Player 2, for more Dead Matter content like this, and there is a link in the description if you're interested. Also, if you like scares, survival, and scavenging, consider hitting that sub button, that like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Path out.